All right, we are back with comedian Ron G. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, bro. Trying to get through the day.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
Yeah. It's mad early for you over there, isn't it?
Bro, I got stripper hours. Getting up this early? I don't get up this early for nobody but kids and Jesus. Doing a career day, and I'll be late for church, so I can't say Jesus, but I don't usually get up this early for nobody.
Wow.
Man, so we definitely want to find out more about you for our audience that may not know. Kind of give them an idea of how you got started in the business, kind of like who you are. We kind of said a little bit before, but you know what I'm saying? How'd you get going?
I live a really dope life, man. I literally do what I love for a living. I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm an actor. I've done a couple of cool shows. I've done Last Comic Standing. I've been on HBO's Insecure season 2.
Yep.
Actually, season 4, season 2. I was Kelly's boo. If you ever see the episode, I'm Kelly's boo. We had the episode of Swingers. If you see it, it all makes sense. You're probably laughing right now.
Yeah.
I'm an Emmy Award winner. I won an Emmy for the show I did on CNN called United Shades of America.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Traveled all over the world. I hosted the Laugh Factory in Hollywood on Sundays at a show called Chocolate Sundays.
Yep.
It's the dopest, longest running, most diverse comedy show in the nation. I've been hosting there for like 6 years, and I do a lot of great stuff with my life, man.
That's awesome, man.
That's dope.
So tell them kind of what got you into comedy? Like what launched you into that world?
Honestly, I sucked at the 9-to-5 life. I used to be an accountant, and I got fired from every job I ever had. And I felt like God was like, yo, there's more to your life than this. And I heard this really dope sermon by this pastor in Atlanta was telling me like, you know, God has a plan for your life and your purpose for your future. And I didn't know what it was. And so there was this comedy club in Atlanta called Uptown Comedy Club. My cousin, he was a comic, and he was like, hey, bro, you ever thought about getting on stage? And I was like, sure, I'll do it. And it was Apollo night. And I remember going up Sunday night, room full of dope dealers and strippers. And I went up and I had one joke and it was terrible. And I got booed, and halfway through the boo was okay. I heard somebody yell out, hey, nigga, kill yourself. And when they told me to kill myself, I heard them throw a boo grenade at me. And then I heard, boo! And I'm like, never got hit by a boo grenade before. I'm like, do I run or do I sit there? And then I went and sat on the steps where the DJ booth was, which is directly across from the stage. And the host was like, man, he was trash. He was terrible. Y'all give it up for Ron G. Boo. Ron G. Boo. Ron G. Boo. They said, y'all gonna boo his name? He kept booing me, right? And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna figure this thing out. And I just stuck with it. And I went back probably less than 6 months later, went back, killed it. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. And I just fell in love, and I never stopped doing it. And probably the biggest thing that's happened, like a year and a half ago, I was on, had my own TV show on Nickelodeon. I was on a show called Cousins for Life. I was the dad on the show, really dope show, Black family, buddy comedy show. And it was dope, man. It was a really dope experience. But the crazy part, when people hired me, it was like, yo, we didn't know what kind of comic you were. You know, Nickelodeon, we have a very strict brand. But when they found out I was a clean comedian too, they was like, yo, like, you were like perfect for this job. And I was like, wait, God, you mean to tell me you set me up to allow me to be a clean comedian so I can get a job that's made specifically for me? This is what you're saying?
Wow.
And
That's dope, man.
yeah, it was dope, man.
That's amazing.
Very blessed.
Yeah, so we knew you. You lived in Atlanta. We went to church. Me, you, and Jeremiah went to church together. So we kind of saw the genesis of all of this. So like, to say we're proud of you. I mean, you already know that.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's dope.
it's amazing.
6 jokes in my pocket.
I want to ask you though, like, you know, starting in church and saying you're a clean comedian. Like, what's that journey like? I mean, going to Hollywood. I remember when you moved away.
Yeah.
What was it like? Was it difficult? Did you stick out like a sore thumb? Were you received by other comics? How was it?
Well, I didn't start out clean at all. I started out being cursing or being, I guess, dirty, I guess. And everybody in my life cursed, like my family, my friends. I was like, all right, this is what it was supposed to be. But I feel like what happened was the place I got booed at, I got saved right around the time I got funny. And I met this older comedian, and he was like, bro, like, you're a nice looking guy. Why you curse so much? And I'm like, I don't know. That's what you're supposed to do. You know, because I came up under a bunch of, Comic View and Def Jam guys. And he's like, you don't have to curse so much. And I was like, all right, cool. So I went back to the same place I got booed at, and I did a full set. And I think I got like I did 5 minutes, which is great on that night.
Yeah. And
I killed it. And I felt like God checked me. He was like, now look. And I stopped cursing in my personal life. I stopped cursing on stage, but I still cursed in my personal life. And I feel like God was like, if a pastor did what you did, you would judge him. So what makes you any different? You being phony.
Wow.
And so he checked me, so I stopped cursing in my personal life. So now, that's my lane. I don't announce it because when people say, when you say I don't curse, then everybody listening to you listen for the curse words instead of like listening to what you're saying. But it legit changed my life, man. And now like I have the ability to perform legit in any crowd, like from kids crowds, churches, corporate, and Nickelodeon. Like I get a chance to perform in any kind of crowd, and I performed behind Kevin Hart before and killed it. But this is what I do, and that's my gift. So I feel like he was setting me up for a long journey, even though I didn't know it was uncomfortable, but I didn't know what the long-term effect of me making this one decision would be.
Have you ever been tempted to go back, or is like for an opportunity, or what, like how to curse and just kind of do like a normal comedy set? Like
in the movie, I curse. Absolutely, I will. In the movie, yes. If it's somebody else's words, I'm like, I don't feel like as an actor you have the luxury of like I'm not cursing. Like that just it's not realistic. It's not human life. You know what I'm saying? But on stage, I will never curse, and that's my commitment. But if you practice it and it's a habit, it's not a struggle. But if you tiptoeing in it, you ain't committed to it, like whatever you do and you ain't committed to will always be a struggle.
Wow. Do you feel like Hollywood is, because you always see people, man, Hollywood is this, Hollywood is that. What's something that you can give to the people that say like Hollywood isn't as bad as what people are saying it is? Or if it is, then just say
Hollywood is a big playground for creative people. That's what it is. And the hard part about Hollywood is I don't think people do well. Too much freedom is prison. You know what I'm saying? And so, back home, you accountable. When you go to church, some old black lady be like, I ain't seen you in a while. Where you been? Somebody checking up on you. But out here, don't nobody check up on you. So there's no accountability out here. You know what I'm saying? So you have to self-govern yourself. And for me, as a Christian in particular, all those messages I got and everything I said I was when I was in Atlanta in my comfortable environment, it mattered when I got out here because wasn't nobody watching me. Wasn't nobody making sure I did what I said I was going to do or be who I said I was. You know what I'm saying? So that's how, So you got to be accountable to yourself.
Ron, I have a tough question for you.
Go ahead.
So I asked you earlier if you knew Rayleigh Evans.
Don't tell no jokes.
You do that to me. I always do. Yeah. I came up with another dad joke, by the way, too. I'm gonna
Please don't do that.
But we understand with Christianity and with Christians, it feels like acting is separated from who you really are in life. Does acting get a pass for you to do any type of role that you're called to do, or is there some roles that you're just like, I can't do this because?
There are certain roles I won't do, and that's from not necessarily my faith. It's just from me as a man. Like certain stuff I just won't do, and I'm comfortable with that because I feel like as a human being, you got to set your own lines and govern yourself. Like even me being a comedian, I can go to any comedy club in America and get a free drink just being a comedian. Or when you're funny, women like that, and the comedy club is typically 80% women. So you're responsible for, the hardest part about comedy ain't being funny or business. Is balancing yourself and regulating yourself. Most people don't have boundaries for themselves, so you are responsible for giving yourself guidelines so you can prosper.
Wow. Yeah. Anji, how real is the movie Top 5 for a comedian? Like, was that really the life of a comedian when you saw that? Like, if you ever saw that movie with Chris Rock?
Which part in particular?
Well, there's a part in it where he's like when he was talking about he was on stage and then girls and all the stuff that comes with the lifestyle of a comedian. Like, was that accurate?
It can happen. But again, I don't like headaches and I like my privacy.
Yeah.
It's that simple. I done gave a girl my number, and by the time I got home, this girl hit me like, yo, I heard you gave my girl your number. I'm like, yo, no privacy. I don't like that. And I never called her. I was like, I can't do that. I appreciate my, being active on social media and being pre-famous. You don't get privacy no more. And I value privacy and I value peace. And I feel like most men, until you value peace, you're gonna keep having headaches.
Wow. So now the church we came from was like jam packed with creative believers, right? And there was a community of people. I remember, being in destinations. You had so many people to turn to for inspiration, but also to check you. You know what I'm saying? I had a sore word with the Destiny. We ain't gonna get into it. But leaving Atlanta, you can if you want. But leaving Atlanta, do you feel like you missed that? Were you able to recreate that same scene there that we had in Atlanta?
Absolutely not. LA is literally a desert. If it's built in the desert. The thing I like about Atlanta, there was all community and everybody in my environment lived and looked like me. You know what I'm saying? But out here, nobody cared. So being celibate in Atlanta with a bunch of people that's like you is different from being celibate in LA. You know what I'm saying? Because don't nobody care. And now that girls call me gay for like, you celibate? What you celibate for? I'm like, all right. And I'm like, I had to be like, I forgot why I'm celibate. I don't even know why. Jesus told me something. I'm like, Jesus told me to go home. I think he told me to leave. It just feels different. And so I had my phase where I wilded out and I was like, I don't like the way this feels. Like, I don't like, trying to be this perfect guy. And again, I feel like my life in Atlanta was running a marathon, eating soul food. Sorry, jogging and eating soul food. But LA is like running a marathon and eating snacks. Spiritually. Wow. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So not getting that same kind of word, not having that environment, you just feel like you by yourself all the time.
Do you feel like, I'm sorry. Do you feel like this?
You go ahead.
No, I'm gonna let you feel yourself.
No, you're right.
There's no delay, by the way. It's not like the news where they like, we in sync. There's no reason for
that. Yeah.
No,
you feel like I'm trying to make you. Sorry, go ahead, bro.
Give me a second, Chris. Jeremiah.
You good?
Give me a second. Now, I believe that's part of the reason why I got married, man, because I feel like every man gets to a place in your life where you outgrow your friends, you outgrow your family, and there's nobody in your life that kind of gets you but your lady. You know what I'm saying? And my lady, we spoke the same language, and I didn't feel like a weirdo. Because even as sometimes a Christian or if you're creative, I got to call myself crazy so other people don't feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? I'm a dreamer. Most people aren't dreamers. So when you start talking about your dreams and all the crazy stuff you do, they like, what? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just crazy. Like, no, I'm not crazy. I feel like it makes more sense for me to do what I love versus going to a job I hate just to make my family happy for going to college. Like, I used to be an accountant. Now I tell jokes for a living. I make more money than probably both my parents in 1 month. You know what I'm saying? Doing what I love. And I'm a homeowner.
Yeah.
So it sounds crazy from where I'm from, but out here it's like so normal.
Wow.
So what's some things that people wouldn't know comedians can like do besides just stand up?
Most of us think we rappers. FYI, if you ever meet a comedian, tell him to rap. I'm sure he got bars on him.
I can't remember. Have you done Wild 'N Out yet?
Nah, I didn't do Wild.
Would you do that?
That's my brand.
It's against your brand?
No, probably no. About 10 years ago, I probably would do it. Now I don't. It ain't my brand.
Got you.
I don't think it's necessarily in my lane. Nothing against it though. I think it's dope. I had a lot of my friends on it, but for me, like, I did it 10 years ago, but now it's like, nah.
It's not your lane.
I'd rather be in a movie.
Because it seemed like that's almost a requirement to be on that show to rap and do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
What was the question?
No, I was saying like I think because it's almost like when you get in the entertainment field or like doing hip hop music or whatever, it's like once you realize like, oh wow, I could be a producer, I could do this, I could do that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
What's some other avenues a comedian can go?
Comedy has introduced me to so many different things, bro, and it makes me. It's like you don't realize until you look back, like why God allowed you to go through all these things and put these tools in your tool belt. Like I have my own radio show. I got my own podcast right now. I'm a writer. I do voiceovers. I do commercials. I'm an actor, and I love all these things equally, across the board, which before, going to a 9 to 5 and in a cubicle all day, I wouldn't even known I had these talents. You know what I'm saying? So doing radio is a joy to me. I love doing radio. Like radio is the dope thing I love to do. I enjoy doing my podcast and just talking about grown man stuff. Yeah. And actually me and my wife just came up with this game show, man, that we do on Thursday nights on Instagram, which is really dope too. So, it just makes your mind open up and you come up with really cool things.
What would you recommend? What would you recommend to somebody with talent? Because I remember when you moved out there, would you say make the jump to LA if they're comedians, actors, whatever? Like I remember you, Coors went out there. A lot of people from the town went out there. I remember you came back one year and you were like, dude, you need to come out to LA. I was like, nah, I'm good. You're like, no, you need to come out to LA, bro.
A long time ago.
You did.
That speech to people.
You did tell me that.
I say this because I don't know. I feel like I always want to tell people what they should do, but it's a certain level of faith that comes along with that. Like it's easy to go to church and hear them sermons about faith and everybody running and shouting, but your life is work, church, and home.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But I try not to give that speech anymore because there's no ceiling out here, and this is some of the most untalented, non-believing people out here that are successful. They are rich and don't believe in nothing. So if you have all this faith and you ain't doing nothing with it, what's the point? What is the point? So I hear like I can do and be whatever's in my head. If I have a thought right now, like I had a thought of doing a game show, you know what I'm saying? And me and my wife talked through it, and you know, she helped me come up with the concepts and all this other stuff. And now I'm doing it. Like whatever's in your head can actually happen, but we're not taught that that's a real thing. And Black people are some of the most creative people on the planet. If you look at everything that's dope about social media, from TikTok videos to all these challenges, it'd be some kid in the hood with no money and then becomes mainstream, and now you see Oprah doing it. You like, it came from some kid in the hood. You know what I'm saying? But those things are real, and I feel like we're a brilliant group of people, and we have the ability to create Wakanda, like for real. Yeah.
Wow. That's good. So what's your, because you say whatever you dream up, you can make happen. What's the big dream for you? What's if you see your career 10 years from now, like what is the thing you're reaching for?
For me, I want to be the best clean comedian in my generation. I want, when people say Ron, they immediately associate like, yo, he's the dopest clean comedian of it. Like when you said Sinbad, everybody knows what Sinbad brand is. Yeah. When you said Bill Cosby a long time ago, like everybody knew it.
I like how you said a long time ago.
Long time ago. Like, but then you knew what, like he was his lane, like he was dope at what he did. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I want to be that for my generation. And I want to be do a bunch of white folk friendly movies that everybody loves, and you take your entire family. But
you're on the right track with Nickelodeon, so.
Right. And I have my podcast is called the 2-Piece Podcast, the number 2 PIECE podcast. And it's about personal growth for men. And basically it's that big brother conversation. So for men, it's the starting point. Because I feel like most men, we don't have a starting point to get our life together, to quote unquote get it together. Like women have brunches and conferences and, you know, women rock conferences, and men, all we got is women, wine, and weed. And we, you know, medicate on these things. And, you know, out here ruining lives, and we don't have a starting point to make our life better. So my podcast is dedicated for men to do that. But also it's the cheat sheet for women who, you know, you want to know how a decent man thinks. Like it's a really good starting point. Yeah. And that's one of my passions. And I believe that that'll be one of the things too, that like take off, and it'll be like, when I go to a city, the daytime I'll do my podcast. And then at night I'll do my comedy show. And it's really dope, man. So I feel like that, and you know, me and my wife partner up and doing like relationship counseling stuff like that. Yeah. And couple stuff and writing a book. That's all the part of the brand. I believe it.
I believe it. I mean, that's kind of where this show came out of is the need for men that believe in God or want to believe in God or on the cusp of that, stepping up and having somewhere to go to really work out some of these things that are on our minds. Like you're right, there's not a lot of outlets. Honestly, you look around, there's not a lot of people that I can even think of that are in a position, especially single young men, for these ladies out here that I would say are ready or I would recommend and all that kind of stuff. There needs to be somewhere they can go to get built up. Where are they supposed to turn? So I appreciate you.
Funny story too, man. Thank you, bro. And funny story too, man. I believe like before I met my wife, before we got married, I probably had like 5 years of popping, won an Emmy, Nickelodeon TV show, Insecure, like all the stuff was happening. And the year I got married, I didn't book one thing. They canceled my show and I didn't book one thing. And I kind of felt like, God, like, do you see me? I just got married. I'm responsible for this woman. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. And then when the year was over, I was like, I asked my pastor, because he had he had a service where he was like, if you guys want to ask any questions, you know, let me know what you think. And I was like, it was just open, you know, open forum to ask any questions. That's like, yo, question, man. So before I got married, my life was popping. I made a lot of money. You know, I had a good year, and I got married, nothing happened. Like, is God telling me like, yo, I need to chill this year because I got married? He's like, bro, you already won. He said half the battle of success is having your partner to go through it with you. Wow. And I realized that first year of marriage was the most important thing. So I didn't work at all. But me and my wife got so close, and he said, imagine if the career that's in your head happened this year, first year of marriage. Wow. You're on tour three-fourths of the year. You're gone. You're in movies. You're never home on your first year of marriage. What would your marriage look like? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, touche, God. So basically, he was protecting you. Sleep with my wife. Yeah. Have me be battle tested. So when I take off after this quarantine is over, which I know is about to happen in 2 weeks, when I take off, I'm battle tested and I won't make him look bad. You know what I'm saying? Because I also believe that my marriage is going to be on a pedestal where people are like, oh, okay, well, if you Christian, then why you know what I'm saying? So I know my marriage is visible, and I always, you know, put out that I'm married on purpose. When I perform, I always mention I'm married. Like, it's just, I do that on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want people to like not know, or, you know, it's just, that's when them attacks come. When you don't say it and you try to separate your life from what God has for you, like, that's when you get those blind spots and you get attacked. But because I put it out there, most girls don't even say nothing to me because they know, like, my wife is dope.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome, man.
Ron, I think I have a question for you for our audience, because the universe is, we talk about this a lot. When you met your wife, what was she doing to get your attention?
Yeah, okay.
Can you tell this story?
No, I'm going through my file right now. But I'm just trying to figure out which direction God wants me to go. Honestly, man, I fell for my wife because she's the first woman I ever met that I argued with and I still felt like she loved me.
Oh, wow.
That's
like,
good.
we had a hard argument one time. It wasn't bad, but it was just like one of them ugly arguments. And when she was done, she was like, and we were sitting in the car, and she was like, look, I ain't mad, but and I'm over it, and I love you, but if you still want to talk about it, just let me know. And we in the car, and she started looking straight, and I'm sitting there driving like, this what we, okay, cool, you're gonna make me deal with myself by myself. Okay, this is what we doing? And honestly, I felt loved even when we had disagreements, and I never had that before, because I think being a Christian man, sometimes you become a fixer.
Yeah.
You pull out that tool belt, and I've mostly dated girls I had to, you know, pull out that tool belt for. And when I met my wife, I was like, I don't need my tool belt no more. And I realized my tool belt was for me, you know? Wow. So that was one of the first things. And, you know, my wife, she's actually African. She's African. And she used to work 6 days a week. And I'm like, why do you work so much? She was like, well, I have to send this money to my family. So the 6th day, I send that money back to my family. And I was like, who's the people? And she was like, I don't know them, but I have to send it to them. And I was like, you send money to your family that you don't know? I'm like, somebody in my family asked me for $20. I got questions like, what you doing with $20? Yeah, you better not be smoking on them drugs. You hear me? You better not be on them drugs. So I just saw her heart, and I was like, yo, you are absolutely dope, man.
That's awesome, man. Thank you.
That's really good.
That was a great. Dude, everything you said, Ryan, I believe it. I believe it, bro.
Man. Yeah.
Yes.
Like you may not know this, but we've been rooting you on since you left Atlanta. Every time I see you pop up, like, yo, it's Ron. Babe, come here. Like, I promise you, man, like, we are truly, truly proud of you, man. Yeah, and I see everything you see. I see it. So
thank you, bro. I really appreciate that, man. And I'm learning, man. I feel like, honestly, my wife was the missing piece. I feel like I wasn't supposed to take off until I met my wife.
Wow.
I'm watching a lot of my friends who are very successful and they single, and you have blind spots, and everybody on their team is getting a check. And it's dangerous to be that person because you don't know who's watching you. Yeah. You don't know who really got your back. And my wife be like, look, he cool, but that dude was looking at me funny. I don't like all that. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
He cool, but I don't really. And so to have that person who, like, she don't care about my hype. She's like, yeah, you dope, you hilarious, but take the trash out. I ask you one thing. Yeah. And you can't take the trash out? Like, that's okay.
She don't care who you are. Yeah, that's good.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell them how to find you online if they want to follow you.
Hey, so actually, please be sure to follow me, Comedian Ron G, Comedian RONG on all forms of platform, especially Instagram. I post really great videos every single day. Also, I have a really dope podcast I do called the 2-Piece Podcast, the number 2 PIECE podcast. Ladies, you're gonna love this show. Please don't block your blessing. Make sure you check that out. And it's for the fellas, but please make sure you check that out. Also, every Thursday, me and my wife do a cool show called Couples Couch Game Show. You're a couple, you're brand new in a relationship, and you quarantine, or you've been together married for 20 years, please be sure to tune in. You and your corn king and corn queen, please stop by, check us out. It's on my Instagram live, Comedian RONG.
That's good. So just remember, man, you got a family here always. We love you. You can come back on anytime, man. Just know that you got not just us. I mean, the whole everybody watching. You now, they family.
Appreciate
y'all.
I can't see y'all, but come here. Thank y'all for having me, baby. Thank you, baby. All right, sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back into it. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.